Yes, man. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Market Reports of the week. We are actually, trying to go through what exactly is going on, in the local land, in homeland, in terms of the global financial here in Africa. So one of the interesting news, we're talking about the Sub-Saharan Africa micro key terms for 2024, faster headline growth than any other mask, underline it challenge. So that's again the story coming from Sub-Sahara, where we saw the Tanzania real GDP growth to remain rebashed in 2024 to 2025 due to the strong construction activities. So the key point there in terms of the Tanzania GDP, it's actually, the Tanzanian, they say they are actually forecast that the Tanzania real GDP growth will remain 5.4% in 2024, following the strong growth print of the 5.3 year-to-year for the third quarter of 323. So in terms of the GDP, right now of Tanzanian GDP is sitting at 4.5%, but the year-to-year it's sitting at 5.3% year-to-year GDP, which is really, really interesting coming from the Tanzania. I think there's a lot of trades that are actually, helping the Republic of Tanzania so that they can, their GDP can actually, grow. Again, the fixed investment will continue to drive growth in 2024 from Tanzania, reflecting a rebound pipeline of the transport infrastructure project and growing interest in the country mining sector. So there's also, a very, very huge when it comes to the mining sector in Tanzania, where we saw the president of Tanzania when they go to African Forum standing up and saying that, we now need to reinvest or invest in our own local place, in our own local mining companies, so that they can try to boost and growth of the GDP of Tanzania. As I said, the focus of the GDP, Tanzania right now sitting at 5.4% in 2024. In 2025, the strong exports and constructive activity will see the real GDP accelerating to 5.5. So the expectations going all the way to the to the next year, it's actually the GDP of Tanzania to get to the 5.5. And if the GDP grows to 5.5, that's really great to people who are living in the Republic of Tanzania, because it will help in terms of the product, will be much more lesser. People can afford to buy things a little bit cheaper. That it is very, very important when it comes to food, especially here in Africa. We really need these products to be really, really affordable, because most of the product they are from here anyway. So I don't understand why it become, very expensive. But anyway, moving on to jumping in Uganda, Kampala, Uganda 2024 consumer outlook, spending activity to continue strengthening. So everyone is coming up with the strength of their economy, right? Because of it's the beginning of the year, of course. So the key view there that we're taking, we hold a positive outlook for the Uganda consumer over 2024. Rising economic growth and stable inflation will provide the tailwinds to consumer spending, which is expanding from a lower base, a solid labor market, and again declining debt servicing rates will buy a confidence level and see the spending shift into more directionary segment, right? So pretty much the Ugandans, they're actually, trying to focus, to make sure that they grow the economy in 2024. And the much bigger focus is going on a solid labor market, and again, declining on the debt service rate. So that means they need to reduce the debt service rate so that more people can now start taking debt, whether bonds, whether car finance, whether house finance, and so on and so forth. But what they need to do is to reduce that rate. Once they reduce the rate, they will see more people getting in and coming in and be able to actually participate in this debt service. And as well as a solid labor market. They actually want solid labor market so that more people can be employed. The more people they are employed, the more tax they pay the more GDP of that country grows. So that's what is coming from Uganda. Again, expecting 2024 the GDP to actually, grow. The other interesting news that comes from Africa, global market report, it's Nestle tapping into demand for proteins in West Africa. So actually, over the December 2023, Nestle Central and the West Africa CWA launched a Maggi soya chunks as an affordable meat alternative. The Maggi soya chunks are soya-based high-protein alternative to the traditional proteins and will be fortified with the iron and zinc and sold in 100 grams pack, which Nestle claims can save up to 8 people per family when they use the soya chunks, the Maggi soya chunks. So yeah, another company there, Nestle. What bothers me is there any company that really based in Africa that can actually produce this type of product? Because we have the soya, we plant the soya, we can be able to produce the soya meat. What they're talking about is Nestle is going to produce a product that will replace things like chicken, because now it's becoming expensive. The protein like chicken, meat, beef, they're becoming very expensive. So they want to come up with a different alternative way they're gonna produce sort of like tin beef, to those to those this side that we know, sort of like a tin beef where they mix a little bit of beef for the flavor, but mostly it's a soya that are actually ingredients on that. So again, West Africa, I think because of economy, the way things are, people are really suffering from different types of corners of Africa. That is why Nestle is taking advantage and jumping in, creating a new product for West Africa there. All right, that's about Nestle. Again, Tiger Brands. A lot of people, we know Tiger Brands, one of the biggest company to distribute in terms of the retail product. Tiger Brands to capitalize on a rising convenience demand in South Africa, right? So on October 26, 2023, the leading South African food manufacturing product, Tiger Brands, launched a ready-to-drink RTD, Jungle Oats drink range. The new Jungle Oats RTD range is marketed as a functional breakfast or a snack and will come in 5 flavors, each offering a different fractional benefits. Original healthy in banana, brain function as well, that is gonna provide into that Jungle Oats RTD range. So yeah, Tiger Brands coming in with a new product, designing a new product. But if you look at it, Tiger Brands launch a ready drink. What are they chasing, right? Are they trying to remove the alternative drinks that we have, or the drinks that we have, and trying to bring in the alternative drinks that we have? Is it because of the manufacturing of these drinks, juices, yogurts, and so on is becoming expensive in terms of the manufacture of it, in terms of the ingredients? Is it because of all the geopolitics that is happening that they cannot be able to order some of the product or some of the ingredients to produce this type of product? That is why they're coming up with another alternative. I don't know, but definitely as a business people, what they're looking at is to save the cost. If they can give you the same type of product, but with a lower cost, then they will better do that. They will better produce a product that will be lower in terms of the costs, and they replace the product that it's already there. We saw recently, most of the companies, they said they're gonna stop stocking Peps, because of the transportation of now Peps to move all over to here in Africa is becoming really challenging. So yeah, that's another big company there, Tiger Brands, bringing on to capitalizing on rising convenience demand in South Africa. They call it convenience demand. Oh, Tiger Brands. Okay, all right. So jumping on, we saw the Kenyan growth to remain strong in 2024. Another country, Kenya, we saw Uganda, Tanzania talking about the growth of their GDP, here's Kenyan growth to remain strong in 2024. The forecast there is that Kenyan real GDP growth will remain strong with 5.2% in 2024. Again, estimation growth of 5.5% in 2023. So 2023, they were estimating that they're going to grow at 5.5%. But right now, 2024, they are sitting at 5.2%, which is not really far in terms of the estimation. They are almost close to them. We have upwardly revised our 2023 estimation from 5.2% previously, following the release of the stronger than expected quarter 323 data, while our 2024 forecast represent a downwards revision from our previous project 5.4. So that's coming from Kenya. They're also trying to actually stabilize their economy, to actually trying to reach at 5.5% as estimated. As we all know, once they reach their estimation, I think it become really, really better for Kenyan people in terms of, and it's one of the African, rising star in terms of global economy, exchanging of goods, developing, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. Kenya, it's actually, one of the leading country at particular time. It's one of the countries that developed so fast in a very short period of time. So yeah, Kenyans are doing their own thing there, and very interesting if their estimation of growth of the economy, and they're actually sitting really, really close to get to 5.5. They're sitting at 5.2%. It's really, really close to get to 5.5 to get their targets. All right. Jumping on oil and gas explosion in Namibia to blast import demand overcoming quarter, which is we are getting into first quarter. So the key point there is we expecting the Namibia current account deficit will narrow from 13% of GDP in 2022 to 12.5% in 2023, as the import bill declines more sharply than export reset. We see the deficit remains stable at the 12.5% in the GDP in 2024, as further improvement in the trade balance in offset by rising service inputs related to oil and gas that are actually in demand right now. So yeah, they Namibians as well, expecting the deficit will narrow from 13%, to 12.5%. That's another, expectations or another estimations that their economy is going to actually grow from that range of 13%, narrow 13% to 12%. But the estimation actually is 12.5% that are actually estimating in terms of, the GDP growth. We see the deficit remaining stable at 12.5% of GDP in 2024. That's their main focus in terms of, the GDP of Namibia. Moving on to the Africa, market report, we are seeing a Sadio group installing the product pledge to boost pharmaceutical autonomy in Algeria. Algeria is one of the big countries in terms of the AI of the pharmaceutical, production, in terms of also, producing, medication in the pharmaceutical industry. So they're saying on December 26, 2023, the Algeria-based pharmaceutical company said the group declared that it will initially the production of insulin, including the pen forms for a human application. The production kickoff in a targeted for June 2024, and this move is expected to crucial Algeria reliance on a foreign insulin supply, potentially causing the downfall of their GDP. So they're trying to come up with a company where this company of pharmaceutical to start produce the insulin instead of them order the insulin from different countries exporting to Algeria. So that's what is cooking in Algeria. That's what it's a big news for jumping from December getting to 2024 January. Again, if you get to Ghana, There's Ghana's Agenda 111 Hospital Project Impact on Healthcare and a medical divisor over medium to long term. The key point there in Ghana is completion of Ghana's Agenda 111 Hospital 111 Hospital Project is unlikely ahead the country's general election in December 2024. Growing investment in a hospital infrastructure in Ghana will facilitate the country's vision to advance the universal health coverage. The anticipation and increase in demand for consumable hospital furnitures and the infrastructures that are bringing on Ghana. So yeah, we saw another interesting news there when it comes to Ghana. They're actually facilitating the country vision, to advance the universal of the health, growing, but their worry is about the election. And when it comes to Africa, we are actually in election season. Different types of countries, they want to have election this year. So their worry is about the election that is going to come on December 2024, because of the project that they set up to actually, continue with it. So think about they already set up, different types of projects in terms of building the 111 hospital projects. They call it 111 hospital project agenda, where they're going to put more money in infrastructure. So if these elections come and a different actually candidate jump in to become a president, the whole policymakers change, the whole agenda, it might also change as well. So yeah, man, there's a couple of things that are actually going on in moving on in actually in Africa right now, but those are the biggest news that I saw. The other biggest news that I saw, I think on a last week, it was about Morocco. Morocco, they actually opened their port for countries in Southern Africa. Remember we were talking about the geopolitics as well that is affecting us here in Africa. That Niger with the coup, Burkina Faso with the COP as well. So these guys, they were actually having a challenge to transport their product that are making in Africa. The reason being is that the ECOWAS group, they actually abandoned, they actually sanctioned the Central or Western Africa, group. They actually ban these countries that been chased the other white people out of their economy system, like Niger, Burkina Faso, and I think it's Guinea as well. I think it's part of that as well. So what Morocco does is that they said, okay, guys, we are opening the ship. Instead of you guys go to West Africa like Nigeria, Ghana, because they ban you guys from that side for using that route, use this route of ours. And that's the statement again of Algeria, showing the West that the guys, we're about to stand up and, stand on our own when it comes to Africa trade and Africa free trade. They are giving a proper route that they can take their oil, they can take their gold all the way to Morocco, and Morocco, they can ship it to Europe to sell it wherever that actually, they wanna sell. So yeah, guys, that's what actually is cooking in this first 2 weeks of January in Africa market report. And we are actually going to bring more Africa market report, just to come back at home and see what's going on in the different types of region in Africa, just to understand how the market actually moving, and also continue advocating Africa free trade, so that we shouldn't have tariff when we are moving goods, not have at all, but not that much tariff when we're moving goods from one place to another. We shouldn't have a problem of a transport. I shouldn't struggle when I'm trying to go to Ghana and to sell my beans, right? To sell my beans or my potato or whatever. I shouldn't struggle. I shouldn't go through Tanzania and then go to Ghana, right? If I'm going to look now, what we're talking about, Morocco has just opened the sea for these guys in Central Africa to go. this is the time for us young guys that we should go there to Algeria, look for to Niger's, look for type of business that we can move, and then take the product, ship it to Morocco, ship it to Europe, and start making, you know, a good return for ourselves. But the more it's difficult to move, the more we still have a visa for me to go to whatever, you know, country in Africa that is close by Southern Africa. You know, it's horrible. So that's what we're gonna continue advocating, Africa free trade, so that we can be able to move and sell the product without any challenge. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's actually Che Yusuf. This is Africa Market Report of the Week. Thank you.